morning. Welcome to tonight's Shocker Table Talk with Parents. My name is Alicia Newell, and I have the privilege of serving as the Assistant Vice President for Student Affairs here at Wichita State University. With me tonight is Lisa Tillman, who serves as our Director for the Shocker Store on campus. And our topic tonight is your Shockers parent access and textbooks. And so this is something that we always get a lot of questions about as when should I purchase my students' textbooks? Where should I get them at? How do I find out what books and technology my students need? In addition, what access do I as a parent have of my students' information? So tonight we're going to talk about all of those topics. As you join us, feel free to drop your name in the chat. We'll do a drawing at the end of today's session for an amazing gift from the Shocker Store that we will mail to you in your home. And so I will turn it over to Lisa, who's going to get us started with everything you need to know about the Shocker Store and textbooks here at Wichita State. Take it away, Lisa.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So again, my name's Lisa Tillman. I'm the director of the Shocker Store. Have been in the position not quite a year, but have been with the bookstore for over 4 years now. So excited to be talking to you tonight, and welcome, parents. I'm sure this is a new experience for you, and we're going to make it as easy as possible for you. So what I'd like to do is basically take you on a tour of our website. That's where you can find a lot of the information that we're going to be covering tonight. And so if we can go ahead and flip that over to me, I'm going to pull that up. And so hopefully you can see that home screen. So up here at the top, the easiest way to get to us is that shockerstore.com. When you type that in, that'll take us to our home landing page. And so before I address the course material buttons here at the top, I do want to go ahead and show you, we're going to cover some of this information for fall. Right now, the information listed for textbook return dates, that's going to be for our summer classes right now. But this same information will be updated and posted online, so you will have access to this moving forward. So other thing I want to draw to your attention is just down here at the bottom on basically how to contact us. We do have 2 different store locations. For textbooks specifically and any online order pickups, you're definitely going to want to have you or your student come to the Radigan Student Center. Our retail location is Brayburn Square, and that's primarily just going to be general merchandise. So again, textbooks, school supplies, things like that, come definitely visit us in the Radigan Student Center. So all right, so let's get started with how we find out what our student needs for classes. So up here at the top, you're going to see that gray button says course materials. We're going to have you go ahead and click on that. And as you scroll down, this whole section is going to give you a wealth of knowledge. So what we're going to start first with is we're going to find your textbooks. And so we give you a couple different options in which to do that. And as you can see, textbook ordering for the fall semester is going to open up on Tuesday, August 1st. Right now, we are looking at the summer term. You can drop down and take a look at the fall 23 term. It's just we're not going to, currently right now, not accepting any orders. So 3 different ways that you can look for your students' textbooks. If you have their class schedule handy, or they are welcome to obviously do this themselves, there's a 5-digit number, their CRN, that they can type in and they can search that way. You can also search for the book if you know the particular title, the author, the ISBN number. But the way I'm going to show you how we're going to search today is actually down here to search by course. And again, I'm going to jump that over to the fall 23 semester. And specifically, we're going to take a look at 4 different courses today. These are your Gen Ed classes. So we're going to start with English 100. And you'll see that we have lots of sections to choose from. So In some cases, there may be multiple courses or sections of this course that are offered. Doesn't necessarily mean that the textbooks will be the same for each of those different sections. So again, I highly recommend that you reference your students' enrollment schedule to make sure that you are selecting the correct course. But in this case, we're going to just look at English 100, and so I'm just going to pick the first one there. Another foundational course, if you will, or gen ed coming in is going to be English 102. We're going to add that. We're going to also add Communications 111. Just pick that first one, and then Math 111 as well too. And if anything, this is going to give you a really good idea of what types of different course materials are offered to your students in the various classes. So we have all of our courses selected. We're going to scan down here to the bottom, and we're going to click that arrow in that black circle that says View Your Materials. And when you pull that up, we're going to see, first things first, we want to look and make sure that we have the right classes and section. And as you can see, we've got then the 4 different classes that we selected. So for that first one, Communications 111, it's not uncommon that you may see this, that textbook requirements have not yet been determined for this course. So what that means is we just haven't necessarily heard from the instructor if they want to provide any course materials. So if you see that, again, just check back as it gets closer to the start of class. Or if it happens to be the first day of class and materials haven't been necessarily posted yet, definitely have your student touch base with the instructor. A lot of times that information is going to be included in their syllabus. So all right, so we're going to jump down here to English 100, and you're going to see that they actually have 2 required textbooks. So the nice thing with us being the bookstore for the WSU campus, we're going to do our best to provide the lowest cost possible in as many different formats as possible for your students. So in this case, you're going to see that we have options available to buy new or to buy used. The other nice thing with this is that if you click on that summary, you'll get a little bit more information about what's involved. Books like this are pretty straightforward. It's more as you get into maybe some of the digital courseware materials that are offered. If lab manuals are provided, those summaries are a big help in determining what exactly is included with it. In some cases, some books are sold as a bundle, so that will also provide that to you. You can see both of these textbooks are required. So again, that is based on the adoption that was provided by the faculty member for that class. So English 102 doesn't look like textbooks have been required yet. Jumping down here to Math 111, College Algebra, you're going to see 2 things. So first, we have the choose one option. This ALEX code, that is going to be simply a physical code that your student will need to purchase that will then be either a tear out or a scratch off that they will then input into the system to access their digital textbook. We know not all students are comfortable with doing digital course materials. So in this case, we also provide a paper version. It's a loose leaf version, which it's basically 3-hole punched and you buy a binder and put it in. So, but you can see different prices that are available for that. If there are alternate sources available, and those are going to be whether additional ebooks are provided. So gen ed classes usually keep it a little bit more basic. It is as you start to get up in level with courses. So now, in this case, we did not necessarily see that any rental textbooks were offered. Just happened to be, I didn't pick one of those, but we do offer that option to students as well. The other item that we did not see was instead of being required, sometimes we see recommended. What I like to tell students is, maybe wait until that first day of class, find out from your instructor, is that something that they really are going to need for the class? Again, it could just be extracurricular reading. It might be some additional assignments, though, that might also be included in as well. But again, before you make that purchase, I highly recommend that any recommended items, you have your student talk with the instructor. So Let's see. I did have another course I wanted to share with you. So I'm going to just jump back and we can go back to select term, department, and courses. And in this case, I'm going to clear out all of this so I can start fresh. And so again, I'm going to pull down that fall 2023. And I do want to show you that we have a biology course, not necessarily a gen ed, but as a different option as far as what textbooks are available to students. And so when we click on that Biology 210, you're going to see again that choose one option. In this case, you'll see the OER, which means Open Educational Resources. So very first thing, and it's in great big font size, is click here for free digital access to this title. Open educational resources are just that. They are free and available to students to be able to use. Again, summary information is available. And if you click on that, it's going to take you out here to OpenStax, which is the vendor that we utilize. And they can either download a PDF or even order a print copy if they want. Can view it online as well too. So we are seeing a few more classes that are offering OER resources. It's a nice perk to be able to use then for your student. So. Okay, forgive me, I'm checking my notes here. Access Now courses. I didn't necessarily pull any up, but those are going to be courses where faculty have selected digital materials, and they're going to be available to your students on the first day of class. It is an opt-out feature, in which means that as soon as they're enrolled in the class, then they're going to be automatically enrolled in the digital course materials as well. As for opting out, they do have up to the first 10 days of class for full semesters, or in this case, looking at fall dates, that would be September 1st if they want to opt out. They can opt in and out as many times as they want between now and then. If they're taking pre-session classes, I believe it's going to be the first day, which is August 7th. If they have a first 8-week class, that's going to, their opt-out date is going to be August 25th. And if they're starting a second 8-week class in October, that deadline to opt out is going to be October 18th. And so if we go back again to the home page, again, you're going to see those dates reflected. These are textbook return dates, and these are going to be your opt-out dates for Access Now, again, just with summer dates that are listed. So, okay, let's jump back over to course materials. There we go. And what is Access Now? So we have out here a whole bunch of frequently asked questions because we know this is we're seeing more and more instructors and whatnot switching over from print materials to digital course materials. So again, it's going to be just where we work with the faculty and our publishing vendors to be able to provide that access to the materials on day one. So how do we know if a class is part of Access Now? It's going to be on that course search website. It's going to pop up as an Access Now course. So how to access your course materials, they are going to be available through Blackboard. A lot of times instructors will put that, I believe, in the course materials tab. Additional information should be provided in their syllabus as well too. So how much does Access Now cost? It's going to be posted on the page for any of those classes in which Access Now items are provided. And we, again, do try to, we know students, college costs can be, up there. So we're doing our best to provide the most feasible options available based on what faculty have recommended or required for their class. So being billed for it is going to go through your student account. And again, this information is available at all times if you would like to go ahead and search for yourself. I'm going to jump down here to opt out. Again, just letting you know, that if you choose to opt out by that refund date, you will receive your student will receive 100% of the refund. So, and they can again opt in and out as many times as they want until that deadline. So, additional information as you continue to scroll. The other main item I did want to draw to your attention was down here to who do you contact for help. And probably the best way to contact us is through this access now at wichita.edu. Myself and two of my staff who specifically work in course materials and textbooks are monitoring this email at all times. So we know back to school rush, we have a lot of students that they get a little panicked if they can't get right into it. Definitely you are welcome to email us, but with that back to school rush, feel free to come on by the store and visit us as well. And that way we can help them in person for sure. But if they do contact us, we do ask that they provide name, student ID, and specifically what courses they're experiencing the issue with. That's going to help us try to narrow down the problem that we're looking at. So other ways to connect with us, again, just down here, our telephone number, 978-3490. And then you can also click on this contact us button. So we're going to be as accessible as we can during this back to school period because we want to help your students succeed. So, okay, so we've talked about where to find textbooks. And I'm just going to hit the back button here. What Access Now is. For those students who are renting textbooks, they will sign upon rental a textbook rental agreement with us. Textbooks are going to be due, just so you know, the last day of class. And any textbooks that aren't returned by that time, you can see here on item 6. That they will be billed and there'll be a $20 late processing fee. So encourage your students, don't forget to turn in those textbooks before they go home for the winter holiday. And we're going to send out multiple reminders as well too. So again, trying to help them succeed as much as we can. So, all right. What else did I want to show you real quick? Out here on the page, we have school supplies as well too, and we offer those both on sale online as well as in store. In addition to that, we have art supplies. We do offer or can special order laptops if needed for your students. Again, simply reach out to us. We have a Dell provider, and I usually reach out to them with your specifications or requirements of what you're looking at, get you a price, a quote. If that looks good, we move forward from there. So, all right. So let's say it's the end of the semester. Everybody has succeeded. We've passed all our finals, but we don't need our textbooks anymore. So we've got a couple different ways that you can return textbooks, sell them back to us, etc. So as a reminder, any returns or exchanges for the textbooks are going to be, if it's a pre-session class, it's going to be no refunds after the first day of Monday, August 7th. For full semester classes, it's going to be 10 days after the start of the semester, which would be Friday, September 1st. And thereafter, it's just 1 day in which to return from the date purchase. So definitely wanted to bring those dates to your attention. So rentals are going to be due at the end of the semester. The due date is going to be printed on your student's receipt. And like I mentioned earlier, they will receive multiple email reminders. So if they have textbooks and would like to, don't necessarily need them, but would like to maybe make a little money on them, we do offer buyback in store. That's going to be the week of finals. Simply bring textbooks. It could be from this semester, it could be from last semester, it could be their older siblings or younger siblings textbooks. Just bring them back and we can let them know if we're purchasing them at that time. Cash in hand, can't beat that. If it's any time prior to finals week, we do offer 2 other options. You can do an online textbook buyback. And no, we do not sell rental textbooks, just as a reminder. So Here, it's with our warehouse provider, Missouri Book System. Simply have your student type in their, simply have your student type in the ISBN number that they're searching. They'll, as soon as you hit the search button, you'll be provided with a quote for what MBS will buy their books back at. You'll see that you can also get a packing list with a prepaid shipping label. And then once their books are received, the student can be paid either via PayPal or a check will be issued to them as well too. So, all right, so we're going to jump back over here. And one other thing I wanted to bring to your attention then was our Shocker book swap. This is a great way to be able to post things for other WSU students to be able to see. And as you can see, it's summertime. There are no recent posts to display. So, but basically they would just list the title, author, ISBN, and then they can pick the category for whatever class it was used for. And then they can either search for that. To be able to post it, they just need to log in with their account information. Account information is just up here at the right. And you'll see that WSU students have a pre-built account. It's their shocker.wichita.edu email address. And then the default password is going to be their MyWSU ID number, again, using all caps. So, okay. And as a last reminder, any digital course materials that are accessible through, say, Blackboard, those items are going to be available up until, I believe it's the day after classes end for the semester. So other than that, again, we are here to help in the Shocker store. Our fall hours begin, I believe, the week of August 14th. We're going to be open Monday through Thursday, 8 to 6, Fridays, 8 to 5, and Saturdays from 10 to 2. And right now we're open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, and on Saturdays, 10 to 2. So again, we're excited to have your student here on campus. We're looking forward to them. And if there's anything we in the Shocker store can do to help, feel free to come on by, give us a call, send us an email, and let us know what we can do for you. Okay? So thanks so much. I appreciate the time tonight.
Just saw I was muted. And so sorry. So there was a couple questions that have come in around digital textbooks. And so are faculty moving more towards the digital realm, or is it the traditional method? I know that the Shocker store has spent a lot of time really trying to work with faculty on kind of some different adoptions and options for students to save cost. And I think looking back, it's over 100,000. I know that the Shocker store has actually helped students save by putting in all this work and making sure that we can help students save by moving towards digital. And so is there kind of like an estimate on like how much is really digital? And
It's increasing all the time. I mean, we've been working through adoptions and looking at that. And it's funny, faculty will actually talk to each other. They're like, hey, have you tried out this digital course material? It's pretty cool, because they have the option then to be able to, provide homework assignments, issue quizzes. The students themselves can be able to highlight different passages, have the text read to them. If we know eye strain with computers and whatnot. So a lot of the course materials have digital tools built in, like doing their self quizzes and providing links to other resources to be able to look at. So we are seeing a shift. However, we also have those faculty who will continue to be diehard print, which is okay. That's fine. And again, we do see a shift going more towards digital, but that doesn't mean that it has to be the only way that your student learns. We know different people learn different ways. Even the younger generation coming in, where they've had the Chromebooks and whatnot since elementary and middle school and high school, they're like, I need a book in front of me to look at. So we can, if they don't see one listed, if it's only digital course materials, have them come talk to us. special order that for them. So it is shifting that way, but I don't think we'll ever go 100% to completely online course materials.
Right. And I think you hit on the important part is what's best for your student.
Yes.
I was enrolled in a class. I'm currently working on my doctorate, and one of the classes had the textbook incorporated into Blackboard, right? And we were able to go in and access that information. But I'm old school, and so I want to fill the pages in my hand, and I want to highlight and make my notes in the books. But this younger generation coming through, right? They are used to this, the digital age and having everything accessible to them via, laptop, computer. And so I think it is very different. And so making sure that you check with your student to see what their needs are, because it could make a night and day difference. Absolutely. Another question was for students who receive scholarship, Lisa, for textbooks, how do they go about ordering those textbooks and getting them purchased?
Okay, and so when we're talking scholarships, like a RUD or an athlete who might have received scholarships, both of those areas and a lot of the offices that we work with that offer scholarships, they contact us ahead of time with the list of student names and ID numbers, and we get those entered into our system. Specifically, I know athletics will issue a book list as a voucher, and so that student athlete has to bring that with them. And part of that is just paperwork process. It's us talking to athletics and making sure the billing is done right. So, but if it's again, a RUD student, if it's a third-party payer student, I know we have some folks that either maybe through the VA or, Kansas Workforce, things like that. A lot of times those vouchers are sent by their case managers to us ahead of time. So again, we can get them input into the system. So when your student comes and picks up their textbooks or orders their textbooks online, they can choose the option of making payment through the scholarship. Just let the cashier know if they're in store, and we will need a student ID, not just their student ID number, but the actual physical card, because we run that through our system then too. If they're doing it online, when you get to the payment option, that's where you would select scholarship, and then that should go ahead and push through. Now, I will say with our online ordering system, it still requires a credit card. That's just as a backup payment in the event that, say, maybe we haven't received the voucher. If your student is ordering books online via scholarship, I would encourage them in the notes section of the ordering form to let them know, hey, I have a scholarship, so that I have a dedicated person in my office who is monitoring those scholarship online orders, just to make sure that we aren't inadvertently charging credit cards. Because again, we know that's a big hassle to try and refund, get it back to you, and all that your student wants is the book that they need. So again, just include that note in the online order, and we'll be happy to help them. Yeah.
And I know, Lisa, in the past, we've offered a process if individuals go online and order their textbooks before a certain date, we will deliver those to the resident hall and have them waiting for the students when they actually move into the resident hall. Is this something we're continuing? And if so, can you remind me of what that date is?
Sorry, it's actually we've discontinued that. I think that was something that really had been started right after the university opened after COVID. We saw a high demand for it, and so we did offer it up through the spring semester, but honestly, what we were finding was people said, yeah, I want it delivered to my dorms. And then they still showed up at the bookstore anyway. And so they picked it up there. So we're not really offering that at this time. But pickup is, again, at the Radigan Student Center. And it's going to be located on our lower level, which is the textbook level. So for those of you, hopefully you've had a chance, maybe during orientations or doing campus tours, we're located just adjacent to the Starbucks. Everybody knows where the Starbucks is. So come in and see us. And then again, textbooks downstairs, lower level, office supplies, school supplies, online order pickup as well. So
great. And I think one of the things I will say is that even just skipping the line and ordering online is huge, because instead of having to wait for for a staff member to come and get your schedule to go find the textbooks, Lisa's staff works really, really hard throughout the summer of getting all of that done, packaged, to where your student simply has to walk up in line, hand them their ID card. We go get the bag and we say, here you go. And it's a quick exchange.
Yep.
And so it's nice because it's very quick and simple. And you're not having to wait in an additional line then to have to pay once you find your textbook. And it is a really busy time. So if you are able to order your books in advance, parent to parent, I highly encourage it, because it will save you peace of mind and time, and knowing that your student has what they need in order to start the semester off right. Another question is, if families order their textbooks, say by August 1, when would they be able to pick up their textbooks?
Okay, so what you're going to receive is should be 2 emails from us. So the first one is going to be a confirmation that the order has been received. I should note that in some cases, and depending on really how big a class is, let's say like some of those gen ed classes where, you know, we're talking 100 plus students in it, it is possible the closer to the class date we get, you may see that the book is on back order. Don't worry. You're not going to ever be billed for anything until we have the book in hand physically in the store, and we can pack it and have it ready for you. So, so the first email, again, confirmation, letting you know we got your order, we're going to take care of it. Second email that should come through to you then is saying, hey, everything is processed. You can pick it up from us anytime. Normal turnaround time is going to be about 24 hours. Again, with the back to school rush, it gets a little more hectic, but we'll try to work with your student as much as possible on that. But again, I highly recommend the student or yourself, if you're doing the ordering of the textbooks, just wait until you see that confirmation email, or even the confirmation email on your phone that you know your credit card has been charged. So in some cases, if you happen to come a little early, you might have to stand around and wait a little bit. Or again, you know, just again, make sure that we have all textbooks processed and ready for you. You can come and pick up textbooks anytime if we have one on back order. As soon as it comes in, we always give preferential treatment to those online orders first and fulfilling those orders. So let's say we have a student in line who's waiting for that algebra book or whatnot. Well, if your student or you place that order 2 days before, you're going to get that order before the student in store. So that's just fair.
That's great. So another question, Tina had asked that if a student won a $250 scholarship at a visit in March, would that already be on her file? I know sometimes departments will walk over and say, hey, I have the student's scholarship on file. One thing that I would encourage Tina is just to check with Lisa with the Shocker store and see if that is something that they have already on file. And if not, then we can help kind of get you in contact to make sure that that information is there and ready for when your student comes to pick up their books. Is that fair to say?
Yep.
Perfect. Next one is Dawn is asking, what format are the digital textbooks? And what devices can they be used to read the materials?
So the beauty of having digital course materials is that because it's going to be accessible through Blackboard, and again, Blackboard being through your internet provider to log in, and your student will have all of that available to them. It can be viewed on laptops, it can be viewed on tablets, it can be viewed, in some cases, I've seen students even doing it on their phones. So that's the beauty of course materials. When we say access now, we mean it. It's going to be that first day that the teacher provides the link. And I know some students do get a little ahead of themselves. They're like, oh my gosh, school starts, next week. I want to get a jump on the reading. And that link may not necessarily be available then. So, but faculty have to have that provided by the first day of class. So again, it's going to be available through their Blackboard class shell. If they're having issues with trying to access that or can't necessarily find instructions in the faculty's syllabus, again, we're going to do our best to try and walk them through that as well. Every class is different. Every faculty member is different in how and where they provide that link. So we're going to have as much information ahead of time. And but if we can't find out the answer, we will reach out to the folks that we know can, and we'll get your student access to it. So
perfect. And so another one is, should they go ahead and order now or wait?
Yeah, not necessarily can order right now. Just again, with online ordering, it looks like that was on the screen was going to open up on August 1st. So you're definitely welcome as soon as that date to go ahead and order immediately. I guess the only thing I would caution is if you do have a student who maybe might drop a class or add a class, it might save you an extra trip of having to make a return or to pick up a second textbook. So, but you're welcome to come visit us as much as you like. We like making new friends at the bookstore.
Yeah. And what is the typical time frame on how long it takes to get a textbook back once it's on back order?
A lot of that depends on the publisher. And if you've also been following the national news, UPS workers are potentially going to go on strike August 1st as well, too. Luckily, our publishers let us know that well in advance. And so I had a meeting with my staff today, and they were telling me, Lisa, we got this many pallets in from McGraw-Hill. We got this many pallets in from Cengage. We got this many in from Pearson. So the publishers are doing a really good job of making sure that, the delivery process does not slow down. They know this is a busy time of year for different educational institutions. So again, as we are pulling reports though on a daily basis to see what books we have sold out of and what back orders we have with online orders then too. So we are monitoring that. Again, it just depends on how quick the publisher can get those mailed out to us. But we're going to do all we can in our power to get those to your student as quickly as possible.
Great. And one thing that I will say, Robin, regarding that is that if for some reason, a textbook is on back order and it's, we're just waiting for that to come in, that is something that the care team, our staff here on campus is willing to help communicate with the faculty and letting them know, hey, we have this many students who are without textbooks, that they're waiting for it to come in, because we don't want that to be something that is held against them. And so I believe that Lisa and her staff and everyone else on campus, they really do a great job of having that open line of communication with faculty. And that way they could say, hey, okay, let's do a little bit more in-depth notes then, since not everybody has their textbooks, or do some different types of learning styles and assigned readings to make sure that we're able to accommodate students who may not have their textbooks by that time. And so all great questions. And so one shameless plug I'm going to put in there for Lisa is that they have some amazing parent t-shirts and all of the famous Shocker gear that you wanted. So if you look around my office, it's everything Wichita State. And so if you are on campus, and I know many of you will be for orientation here pretty soon, feel free to stop by the Shocker store, pick up some swag. You can order online. They can deliver to your home. But it's a great way just to kind of showcase your Shocker pride and say, I'm a proud parent now, proud mom, proud dad, proud family member of a Shocker, and just excited that they continue to carry all of the coolest gear in Shocker Nation there in the Shocker store. So thanks for joining us tonight, Lisa.
Thank you.
I'm going to go ahead, and we have some questions. So we're going to move on to our next topic, which is talking about your rights and access to parents for student grades, whether that's information to academic records, if that is billing information. And so, one of the things we talk about significantly at new student orientation is once your student is registered for classes, you as a parent no longer have access to their information. And so right now, my student is in high school, and I am diligent in making sure that I am checking on her grades, seeing if she's completed tasks and assignments, and what do I need to do as a parent to encourage her to keep her academically engaged and making sure she's doing what she needs to do. Once our students transition to college, that no longer is the case. And so it's really shifting all of that responsibility to our students and encouraging them to take ownership of what that is. And so we're going to talk a little bit about FERPA. And so FERPA stands for the Federal Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act. And essentially, this protects our students' privacy of the institution not being able to release student information to anyone without their permission. I'm going to say that again. We cannot release any information on our students without their permission. And so one of the things that you will want to do as you talk with your students is if you are wanting access to their student records or information, they will need to do what's called completing a FERPA release form. And on the FERPA release form, if you go to wichita.edu/FERPA, there is information online that you can review with your student, get access to the form, and essentially they're going to mark what they want you to have access to. And so as a parent, this is something that is like, man, like if I'm paying the bills, I should be able to review their academic records. And so what I often talk to our parents about in orientation is, what leverage do you have? And a lot of times it's being able to go and talk with our students and asking them to pull up their grade book and Blackboard when they come home for Thanksgiving break, having them show you their grades by logging in and being able to have an honest conversation of where they at in their coursework and where they would like to be, and what is missing, or what can we do different to make sure that they're making progress and they're moving towards that goal. And so there's FERPA. In regards to grades, once upon a time, the university used to mail grades home. And so I remember when I was a student, I would go home and be like, I got to get my grades before my parents do. We no longer do that. Grades are released to students online. And so one of the things, if you join us in either future parent family table talks, or if you are signed up to receive our newsletter, we will let you know when students' grades are available for pickup. And so once students' grades are posted, they'll be able to log in online and see what that final grade is. A lot of times parents will say, well, my student has forgotten their password and they're not able to log in to view grades. And so if you will take out a piece of paper and pen, I'm going to give you a tip. At any time, if your student is logged out of their account, you can call wichita.edu help desk or 316-978-HELP. And at the help desk, they'll be able to walk the student through and getting their account updated. And this is a way that you would be able to have a conversation with your student and being able to see what those records, what the academic grades and standing is for that term. Another process that we talk a lot about during orientation is e-billing and being an authorized user. And this is something that your student will be able to, again, give you access to. And this will give you access to be able to go in and view their bills. And when you're viewing your bills, you'll be able to get reminders and all of those different things of when bills are due, set up payment plans, make payments. And so when you're here for orientation, or as we get closer to the start of the year, we will put all of these reminders in the family newsletter, and with links on where to go to click and encourage those conversations to happen with you and your student. I think it's really important just to kind of reiterate that, as difficult as it is as a parent to have to let go and let your students be in charge of this, of navigating this process, that is what college is all about. Helping our students advocate and navigate what this journey looks like moving forward. And if they graduate from the university and they're not able to do that because we have done that for them, then we have done them a disservice. And so I will talk a lot about making sure that we're helping and not hindering our students. And if there's questions, knowing that we're always here on standby to help, but we want to make sure that they're the ones taking that first step forward and being able to have the conversations and being able to navigate what some of those issues and challenges are, so that they can understand how to be successful, not only in the classroom, but outside. And so during orientation, when you come, all families will receive this. It's a Shocker Family Handbook. Inside the handbook, we give you step-by-steps on when important dates are, when grades will be posted, when breaks are. It'll talk more in depth about FERPA, about authorized user, and being a proxy for your student. And so be on the lookout for that. If you are not able to attend new student orientation and would like one, we have this available on our website at wichita.edu/family. And you can go online and actually review that today. And so that's just kind of like a really quick overview of FERPA, and being able to get access to student records. And that way we're clear. But we will go over a lot of that more in detail when students are here for orientation. There was a couple questions I wanted to get to. Sorry. Students' grades throughout this semester. So Quinn had asked about how you can check your student grades throughout the semester. If you've attended orientation already, you probably heard my experience that I've had with a student who shared with their parents all semester that they were doing academically great, that they were acing all of their exams, that they loved their faculty. And then at the end of the year, I had the mom call me and share that the student had actually failed out and was academically dismissed from the university because the student was not honest. And every time the parent would ask the student to show them their grades, they would make this thing of, oh, I can't log into my account, something's wrong. And so when I share with you, making sure that your students are showing a screenshot or logging in together with them to be able to view what those course grades are, it's really an opportunity to have a conversation of what is that expectation, and really encouraging and motivating them from where they're at and where you hope for them to be. And again, it's not to minimize like the involvement of what the parents' role is in this process. But if students aren't willing at this point in their academic journey to have those conversations with families, then there's nothing that we can do in order to force them to share that information. Because once they're enrolled, they have the rights and privacy of us not being able to share that information with families. And so it's a delicate conversation that you'll need to have with your students. But again, just reiterating that you're there to support them and you want to help them be successful by holding them accountable. And I think a lot of us as parents, we do that already. And it's just reminding them of how much that has helped them up until this point and being able to help continue that in their journey. A question came up from Teresa, and it was, my student gave me access. I have, let's see. And it said, my account is not recognized. Should I call or have my student call? And so they gave you access to their, I guess, Teresa, if you can clarify which access was given. Was it to their billing or and so right now, if that's probably coming up and they gave you access for proxy for billing, yes. And so that is correct. It's not going to show that you have access yet because bills have not been posted. And so once all of that gets updated, we have a session coming up on July 19th that talks about your Shocker finances. And during that session, bills will be posted. And so you would be able to have access around that point in time. And so once that is turned over, right now, bills are not posted in there. And so once that is available, then you will be able to see that and get access. If you were able to see it after orientation, I would encourage you to give them a call and we can drop that phone number for you in the chat box. Another question that had came in. I thought there was another question that had came in. When will the website update to order books for fall 2023? Great question. And so Lisa had shared that the website should be up to date here within the next couple of weeks, but for sure by August 1st. And so making sure that you go and you check back August 1st. Faculty are continuing to send in lists of the course material that's needed. And Lisa's staff is getting that updated online as quickly as possible. And so if you don't see it on August 1st, make sure you keep checking back because that information is continuing to change on a daily basis as faculty continue to send that in. All righty. If there's any other questions that are out there, feel free to put those in the chat box. We have a drawing that we typically do every session for our parents who join us. We appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedules to join us and learn more about Wichita State and your students' process. And so tonight's winner, let me pull it up here, is Carrie Kerr is the winner. And so congratulations, Carrie. You are the winner of a Shocker blanket. And so we will get this mailed out to you this week. And so you'll see that coming to you in your mailbox hopefully this week. And so if you're interested in anything Wichita State, feel free to shoot us information that we can share with you either in the newsletter or if there's something a topic that you would like us to talk about during one of our Shocker Family Table Talks, we're happy to do that as well. Our next session that we have is actually tomorrow. And with the holiday, we kind of took last week off. And so we're putting 2 this week in there. But tomorrow's topic is your Shockers academic accommodations. And this is something that is very near and dear to my heart to make sure that all of our students have an opportunity to learn and be their best selves. And how do we at the institution support our students in that process and journey? And so we have our Office of Student Accommodations and Testing, previously known as the Office of Disability Services, that will be joining us to talk about what services and programs their office offers in order to best support our students with different abilities. And so if you're able to join us tomorrow, again, if you have any questions or if there are things that we can do to help you in your transition, don't hesitate to drop those in the chat box or give us a call here at the university. There is, yay, Carrie, she's excited about the blanket. One of the things that I noticed, Carrie, when we did this is that when you receive it at home, the student automatically thinks that it's a gift for them. And so it's completely up to you if you want to share or not. But we really appreciate you all for joining us. And at every single table talk we will do random drawings for different gifts And that's just our way of saying thank you, because we do appreciate you joining us and engaging in the Shocker experience. We will have a live tomorrow, but throughout the summer, we have 3 more that are scheduled. And so you can always go to wichita.edu/family and view our Shocker Family Table Talk schedule. Links and information is online for FERPA proxy authorized users, so you can get more information there as well. And then, as always, we are available 24/7, 365 via email. So drop us an email if there's something that we can do to support you or your student. And know that we're here to help along the way. Is there any other questions that are out there before we wrap up? It looks like we are almost at time. And no. Before we log off, I want to give a quick shout out to Quang Nguyen, who is our Assistant Director of Marketing and for the Division of Student Affairs. And so he's behind the scenes coordinating and doing all of this for us. He's also quick to respond to family inquiries and things that come through. So I just want to give a shout out to Quang for all that he does to support this initiative, is making sure that we're staying connected with our Shocker family. So thank you, Quang, for all that you do. You're appreciated. If you have questions, don't hesitate to reach out to us. We're excited to have you joining the Shocker family and look forward to staying connected. Until then, have a great night, and we'll see you soon.